Hi guys, Mark Devo. Welcome to Mark Devo Conscious Time. It's been a while since my last video. Trust everyone is good and well during these times. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to be looking down at my computer as I've done before. This was taken from a blog from my website. I'll put the link down in the description for those of you that are interested. You can always subscribe. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So this is letting go the chains of the past. So for those that are new to this channel, I talk about all things, concepts that are pragmatic, spiritual. I haven't really gone down massive spiritual walks right now. We'll get there. But I chat about things and talk about things that are sometimes, I believe, very simple but truly profound, such as this, letting go of the chains of the past, and a practice that helps me every day navigate through this world. And these seem so obvious. We hear people say don't live in the past and blah blah blah, but most of us always get caught up in it, and we don't understand the logic behind it. A lot of us, we don't understand maybe the logic behind it and what actually keeps us bound in the past, because if we can truly understand this, then this will have massive, profound change in all our lives. And in a nutshell, let me just jump into it quickly. All right, so there's nothing more freeing than starting anew in the now and fully letting go of the past. So letting go the past and the chains it holds. So as I mentioned, and I might repeat myself because I'm thinking out loud as well, but I'm also following what I typed in my blog. So this is truly powerful and freeing practice, offers true release to realize the freedom already there and then to navigate effectively going forward in life. So and it sounds easy, it sounds absolutely easy, and it is, but it's also very elusive. So if you're not feeling, basically it's as simple as this: if you're not feeling at peace or at ease right now in the present moment, it's because you're not present. You're living in the past. So you're casting your mind back to past failures, for instance. That's bringing up that negative feeling. And if you think about the future and it's got a negative feeling, that's mostly based in the past, because now why would you be feeling otherwise? The future should be exciting. It should be bringing forth great feelings, etc., etc. So you're actually casting negative feelings from the past into the future because you're not being in the present. You're trying to control past and future. I've chatted about this in some of my other videos, and on my website as well. I'll unpack this a little bit more, but I just found this a simple yet profound practice to truly give you true release and true clarity to then navigate in this world that will then bring the success, etc., etc. But a lot of us are always looking for things to fulfill us in that moment, whether it's a new car, a new job, a new relationship, something else to fulfill us, and we're not actually being present and then going forward with that present abundance that we have in that present moment. So let's just unpack it here. So we're always distracted by life and all worldly things and something called the ego as well. So I'm going to be tapping into a little bit of the ego. I've chatted a little bit about that already, and I'll unpack that here. Our minds are also not as disciplined as we would like. What that means is if we were a little bit more disciplined, we would be able to practice these habits, and we'll be able to consciously realize how free we really are, and then create these outcomes that we want. But a lot of us are subject to the world that we live in. Okay, and I say discipline in a non-regimental way, more of a self-controlled, harmonious way. So what is serving us? Okay, but without going any further into this, and it's going to be hopefully quite a short video. The most fulfilling and, as mentioned, powerful practice is waking up in a new day or taking a new breath any time of the day and renewing your mind, raising your vibration and letting go of the past. So I know for myself, I've done that many times, and again, it takes practice, and I'll unpack that a little bit more. But starting that new day afresh, literally knowing that the past is in the past, lifting your vibration and starting your new day. If you don't do it in the day, do it any time during the day, and I'll unpack that now as well. So this is literally one of the simplest and most powerful things you can do. If you really understand this, then take a breath now, let go, and everything with it. Start again on a new clean slate. and go forth in pure freedom. Nothing more to see here. So if you get this, turn this video off and go your way, and Godspeed. Then you understand you've got the keys to life, the keys to the kingdom, as it were. So logically we understand this. So logically we all understand this. Don't live in the past, blah blah blah. We've all heard that. Sounds so cliche, but there's a little bit more to consider. So next time you feel that overwhelming feeling, ask yourself why. Okay, great, I'm going to drop the past, but why can't you drop the past? So let's just jump into that. So again, logically, we can see the past is the past and nothing more we can do to change about what has happened. But again, there's a few variables or traps in inverted commas, for lack of a better word, that keeps us bound in the past and repeating these past failures. And I mentioned the ego, so I'm going to just unpack the ego very quickly. As spoken about before, the ego is the false part of ourselves or thought system that keeps us bound in the past and past failures, as it empowers itself this way. So the ego is elusive, it's illusory, it's not real, but it finds strength in either bolstering itself in a very egoic way, like I've spoken about before, in a very grandeur way, that look at me, I'm so great, or it also empowers itself by past failures, because now you're feeling depressed about yourself or whatever the case may be. So that ego is now bolstered because it's also focused on itself. Okay, so the past is nothing more than learnings in time. It has either served you well, which is great, or it has not served you very well. And so we need to make corrections to navigate going forward. Again, that is easier said than done. And the serving us well side of life is quite a powerful aspect of life, because life has not always been kind to many of us. We carry all sorts of scars, upbringings, the world that has kicked us around. So some of us have maybe worse upbringings than others. So it's always easier said than done, but nonetheless the concept still holds true. So furthermore, just to unpack biologically, why do we live in the past like this? It's because it's rooted in our survival, our tribal way of life. So we needed to remember those negatives, for instance, which many times are rooted in surviving an animal attack or adhering to a tribal culture. So you're not getting rejected and you're part of the community and your safety is maintained, etc. So I'm not going to go down that road, because you can do your own research biologically, etc. But I'm sure we're all aware of those points. But I'm sure the audience I'm talking to now, we know that we're more than just biological. So we are conscious beings, and we have to consider that, what I've spoken about in terms of the ego and how it plays a role in our lives and how we think about things and how it keeps us rooted in the past, as I've mentioned before in some of the other videos I talk about. Okay, and again, although illusory, the ego can keep us bound in the past, because that thought system only knows the past. As the present is where true freedom lies, and that's what scares it, because that's where the absolute true freedom, God, source, etc. goes. So that's going down a more spiritual side of things, which I won't go down too in depth right now. But please research more on the ego. I take a lot of my research from, I've mentioned before, Course in Miracles, which is quite a profound, it is a profound course, curriculum, book, call it what you will. Okay, so as I mentioned, the ego cannot handle the present, because that is where it release, and as mentioned, freedom lies, our God-given freedom as co-creators with God. And so the ego likes to be bolstered and gets this through past failures, as mentioned. Okay, and without the past, there is no guilt. So now the past keeps us bound through guilt as well, because we are feeling we have done this wrong, we have done that wrong. And we feel like we always have to revisit that to try and change that, but it just ends up being repetitive if we don't let go of that past, learn what we can, and move on from there, if that makes sense. So the ego isolates itself this way, which is what it's all about: separation, me, myself, and I. That's how the ego operates, that egoic thought system, as opposed to God, all-inclusive, source, oneness, etc. So we get caught in circular thinking about how we failed at this, or how we failed at that, how we're not good enough for this, or fears, doubts, guilt, etc. All negatives rooted through the ego. Illusory nonetheless. It's not real, but I'm not going to go down too deep over there. Meaning it's not real because spiritually speaking, we are whole already and have everything in this moment anyway. The power of that present moment. Okay. Again, the present is all we have, and where true release and freedom is. And so a good practice is to take a breath consciously whenever you can, or you feel life getting the better of you, and you start again. So I do this all the time, and it's a habit. It's really a habit. It's one thing watching this and go, yeah, I understand that, I get that, but you have to create that. You have to have the understanding what ego is about. Don't understand too much about the ego. Just know that you have that false thought system. Understand that that's what keeps you bound. But without that understanding and then developing the habit counteractively, then we get caught in that past all the time. Okay, so we can say, oh, don't live in the past, don't live in the past. But until you understand that, then you keep on doing that, and then you can't develop that habit through understanding, if that makes sense. Okay. Again, it's easier said than done. Sometimes emotions that can root us in the past failures or happenings can be truly powerful and even overwhelming, as mentioned. And granted, some things may need a little bit more time, so we think, than others to resolve in our minds. So some things that happen to us in our past, we need to have a little bit more time to resolve that. So we think, okay, but we really need to drop the past as quickly as possible and practice doing this. Learn what we can and move on swiftly. Not in a cold-hearted way, of course, but we cannot linger and fuel the ego and ruminate, as that is not going to help in any way. So it's not about saying, oh, I'll just do something wrong, bad, evil, whatever the case may be, and just let it go in the past. You'll find that energetically, spiritually, you won't be able to do that anyway. But it just means practice. You're doing the best you can. Practice dropping that past as quick as possible. Okay. And then lastly, just to finish off here, for new beginnings. Okay, so when you read it already, as I mentioned, breathe in the now, let go of the past, realize there's nothing more to be done. The past is in the past. This is really such a freeing practice. The trick is that it takes discipline, as I mentioned, and developing the habit. There's no situation where you cannot start again, no matter where you are, how old you are, whatever circumstance you find yourself in. God and life gives unlimited courses of action or pathways to fulfill your purpose and to living a fulfilling life. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you are. Once that habit and understanding is integrated into your life, you can do that at any time. Other little trick is not knowing or not thinking, but knowing that you've done everything up until this point to the best of your ability with what you have been given in life. So I hope that makes sense and resonates with you. Okay, so know that you've done your best and then start again. Okay, life is a journey and learning. So just be patient, take a breath, drop the past like a stone, start again in the now. It'll become easier and easier to do this, and you'll see the benefits to start living freely. So, and then lastly, the right attitude in the now will bring all sorts of wonders your way. Just be a little patient sometimes and live in faith. So be patient with yourself. We all fall out. Start again. Renew yourself in that day. Renew your mind. Renew yourself every second of the day where you feel you need to. So I hope this adds great value. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, experiences in the comments below. Catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.